Today I want to talk to you guys about the shifts that are happening in our lives having to do with relationships. And today, more specifically, I want to talk about the duality of needing a relationship and not needing a relationship. See, more and more of us are becoming aware that we don't need relationships to complete us. You know, there was that famous Jerry Maguire movie, about, you complete me, at the end of that movie, I think it was, I haven't seen it in so long, but that he was like, you complete me. Well, what's happening in our world is that we are understanding that we actually don't need anybody to complete us, that it's actually on us to make ourselves happy, it's on us to be feeling the love, to be feeling peaceful, to be having a complete and full life. And so that's a big shift that's happening in our society that people in past generations didn't necessarily believe. We always thought that, not me necessarily, but I'll say we as in past generations would believe that, okay, you need a man to financially support you, or we need a household, two parents to raise a child. And obviously we haven't seen a lot of those things in our society. We're seeing lots of single moms these days. We're seeing mixed families and all different sorts of connections there. But so more and more we're understanding how this is okay. This is the norm, that we complete ourselves, that we have all the resources that we need, and that it's on us to be bringing love and joy and peace and happiness into our own lives. That mindset is changing, it's leaving us, that we're looking for someone outside of us to complete us and do all these things for us. Now, the other side to that coin is that even though we are complete on our own, and I will speak to a lot of women who are divorced, or who have been in relationships and just don't want to bother with another one. Women will say to me, hey, I'm too old to start at that place again. You get to a certain point, and maybe women and men, whatever your point is, whatever your age is, that you set that limit. It's like, hey, you know what? Relationships haven't worked for me. I'm gonna just call it a day. I'm too old. Again, whatever your age is, hey, I'm too old. It's a mental thing. I'm too old. I'm not going to start again. Well, I just want to tell you a couple things related to that. Is one, if you had a bad relationship or a couple of bad relationships, those are just one-time incidents. And again, that's something else that's shifting in our society, is that we're understanding that relationships are considered maybe successful if we are learning the lessons from them. Because again, in the past, we were told relationships are successful if they last forever and ever. Well, what's changing is the paradigm shift now is that we're saying, okay, well, did we learn something from that relationship? That was one relationship that was bad, or a couple that were bad. But if we learned from it, if we took the lesson, if we changed, if we grew from it, then it was a success. Because it's important to understand that relationships are here to teach us. They're here to teach us. And a lot of times that involves upset or frustration or whatever. And that's not the only way to learn, but it is the way that a lot of us learn, is through this sadness and heartache. So first is understanding that these relationships are here to teach us a lesson. And now, even though, and again, I've heard the comment from a lot of divorced women too, is that, hey, I was happy before him and I'm going to be happy after him. I was a whole person before him. I'm going to be a whole person after him. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. And even though I can understand this, and my heart really goes out to that way of thinking, because I have been there many times throughout my life, and things continue to come up that it's like, I don't need a relationship. I don't need a man. I don't need that. And here's where the duality is that even though we're whole and complete being on our own, we have come into this lifetime to actually be in relationship. So that's kind of like the paradox, is that even though we don't need a relationship because we're whole and complete as ourselves, On the flip side of it is we're actually here to be in relationship. So in a way, if you are single and say have never been married and feel like you're too old to still be in the game or to try, or if you've been divorced and you're just not in the mood for another terrible relationship, well, first off, I would say, call me. I will work with you. And then secondly, I will say that you're kind of, if you're taking that stance, in a way you're kind of giving up in this lifetime. And, maybe that's a judgmental comment, but I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I think that it's kind of like a cop-out in a way of, hey, I'm not going to try for a relationship again. Because, again, even though you don't need it, I do believe that we are here in this lifetime, all of us, to learn the lessons of being in partnership, and that is where our greatest lessons are learned. We could be happy and things be flowing and smooth on our own, and we can be perfectly content, and we want that easy life. Hey, I want that easy life. And then you bring a partner in and they show you those sides. I mean, that's where the work comes into play. They show you those sides of you that you might not like, that maybe need to be grinded out, refined, healed, and that's why it is important for us to be in relationship. So that's something I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope it got you thinking, and I hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to visit me on my website at loveguru.net. Sign up for my newsletter. You'll receive a free audio, and I write regular blog posts, articles, videos, as you're seeing now, and you'll get them in your inbox. So I wish you the best in love. Bye-bye.